Hello, welcome to On the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. I'm your boy Iceberg. Um, Shout out to the DMV crew and the DMV boys. Tonight's guest is Canadian's BricksToGo, and a young fella from Ontario. And I'm very much excited to have him on the show this evening. Hey, Aussie Brick Chick, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. So this show will give us a younger perspective of the AFOL community and those that don't know him. It give us that fresh perspective of, I hate to say tainted, but or anything like that, because we all been around for a bit. It gives us that new perspective, and so we can all learn from what our future is going to be. So, without all the jibber jabber I've been doing, say hello to the group.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Isaiah. I'm BricksToGo from
Right.
Ontario in Canada. Small town in Carleton Place, just outside of Ottawa. But I'm originally from Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay. All right. So, how's life out there in Ontario?
It's all right. It's all right. It's very humid. It's cold. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I miss the West Coast, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer living out there, but you know what? It's nice. I can't complain really.
So, yeah, you said the West Coast. I saw that you were around the California area. Tell us about that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's not much to tell. It's it's more about the people. You know what I mean? I have more close relations with the people than I do the places themselves. I find the people on the West Coast are I don't know, very like-minded with me. I find
Mm-hmm.
they're creative and outgoing. Not that the people here
Okay.
aren't, but I don't know. I just find I have a better sense of community out there than I do here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You
I
said
feel like there's a lot more to do.
maybe you said it's a lot more to do out there. Of course, it's California, so it's a lot. That's like a metro area. So you say like maybe are the hobbies different from like the hobbies and everything different from California to where you're at now?
Well, I found honestly it's actually Edmonton, Alberta. There's
Hmm.
where I was from, but
Okay.
quite more uh, quite a bit more of a Lego community there in Edmonton as opposed to the Ottawa area. I find
Yeah.
there's lots of Lego expos and even a Lego store and stuff like that. There's nothing like that around Ottawa. The closest Lego store is Montreal or Toronto, and the last time there was a Lego expo in Ottawa or around the area. So I feel like the community for that is much greater out west.
Okay. All right. So tell us how'd you get into Lego?
Well, I can't exactly remember how old I was, but when I was really young, my grandparents bought me a small Lego set, and it was just um, just a handful of pieces sets that you get um, like a creator set, one of those small rinky dinky little ones, and they said that I played with it for hours nonstop, and I don't personally remember that myself, but I've been
Mhm.
told that kind of kick started my whole Lego career, if you will. um, and I don't know, since then I just loved Lego. I've always loved building and creating and designing. um, it's always been a big hobby of mine. I took a little break when we moved out east. uh, all the Lego was packed up in boxes and whatever. And I didn't really have a place to really set it up and use it properly. So there was a long gap where I didn't actually um, build anything with Lego or play with Lego or really buy any of it. for a while, but just recently, last Christmas, got a few more Lego sets for Christmas, and
Hmm.
got me back into it. You know.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um, what's your next biggest project in Lego? I mean, which
Well, um, aside from the mini mocks and the the modulars, um, I'm actually working towards building a Lego city, um, and
okay.
it's going to be a completely customized city, completely customized with mocks. You know, I don't want to buy the modular sets or anything like that. I want to really design every aspect of the city myself,
Hmm.
and that's really my main goal right now. I don't know if you can see just in the back. Here's a start, a start of one of the streets there, um, and I'm hoping to expand from there and kind of keep going and just really see how big I can get it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. I
What
see.
kind of size city I can make and everything, because really uh, building the houses and everything is probably my favorite thing to do.
Okay.
I think maybe later on I'll start building. I have a couple ideas for some skyscrapers, you know, some taller buildings and what have you, but
Hmm.
speaking, I've kind of found my niche. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
definitely get into it because I definitely like your style. I definitely do. So with that open, how would you best describe the work that you do?
Um, you know, I would say that my work reflects um, kind of my hobbies and my interests that I have. I've always been really interested in architecture ever since I was a
Hmm.
kid. Um, and I think that kind of relates closely with the things that I'm building and the modulars that I'm creating, because um, even if I because I've always thought maybe I could pursue architecture and this and that, right? But I don't know. I don't know that that's something that I want to do now. You know what I mean? And this is a way to kind of um, pursue that interest of mine in architecture. Um,
Okay.
that's fun and creative and interesting and um, social, very social with the Lego community and everything, right?
Okay. When I look at you, you're fairly a young guy. How old are you?
21 years old.
Okay. All right. Are you pursuing your engineering prospects?
I'm looking towards going to um, NATE. It's a college in Edmonton, Alberta. There, I'm
Okay.
looking at the alternative energy program. Actually, I'm really interested in alternative energy, green energy and that sort of
Hmm.
thing. I
Hmm.
think it's vital to our sustainability here on Earth. It's crucial to both saving our planet and living better lives. Just
Okay.
there's so many benefits to it, and I'm really interested in that.
Okay. All right. That's pretty awesome. Love a young man with ambition. So when you're building, right? Do you allow other people to see your process like from start to finish?
I enjoy sharing my process with people. I kind of recently started doing that with my modular buildings.
Hmm.
Started taking progress pictures and sharing them on Instagram for people, so they can kind of see the design process. They can see kind of where I start, how I go back and edit certain parts,
Hmm.
how I kind of think things through, because when you see pictures, day to day of each kind of progress, how I've been doing, it gives people a sense of kind of what I'm doing as well, and kind of, I don't know,
Okay.
I get the sense that it makes people feel a little bit more connected to the build. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Right. And that's very
And I
important,
think it's,
capturing the audience.
yeah, and it's nice to be able to, in my opinion, it's nice to be able to see the changes that they've made. You know, I like seeing other people when they've posted their pictures of incomplete builds and stuff, and then they go back later on and then post a finished picture. You know, and I can go back and kind of compare and say, oh, well, they changed this, and that looks better, and you know what I mean. Like it's nice to be able to compare like that, and instead
Right.
of
Oh
just
yeah.
seeing the finished product and like, well, here's the finished thing. You don't
Hmm.
get to see kind of everything that's behind that, because there is a lot
Okay.
behind that. Just the finished product isn't everything, because you could spend days, you could spend months on a single project, right? But sometimes all people see is that one finished product, right? That one finished thing, and you don't necessarily get to see all the other things and all the effort that went into building it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. Good point. Good. Very good point. Um, do you um do you build with your significant others? Your girlfriend, wife, mother, father, sister, brother.
I build with my girlfriend. She is a new builder. She's getting into building, actually, I think, because I'm so heavily into it.
Hmm.
But she's also really creative, and so it's right up her alley when it comes to that.
Awesome. So do you actually do bills together, or does she do her separate bills and you do your separate bills?
She does her own separate builds. She's starting to, anyway.
Hmm.
And she gives me a lot of inspiration from mine. I
Okay.
often, I'm saying, hey, does this look good? Or how does this look? Or should I change this up? Or you know what I mean? She has a good eye for detail and colors and stuff like that. So it's nice to get a second opinion.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have
Also,
any other? What'd you say? No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say my dad is also really into Lego. He who lives in Japan, actually. He hosts kind of a kids Lego building workshop
Okay.
every couple of weeks, and so he's really into the Lego scene as well, and
Hmm.
it's one of the reasons that I'm so heavily into Lego.
Now that's awesome. Let's talk about that. So you actually tell us where you. I mean, you told us where you were from, but tell us where your people are from. I mean, like, tell us where your dad's from. Tell us where your mom's from. Because when I see
Well,
you, you. Uh-huh.
my dad's family is from Japan.
Okay.
My great grandparents were originally from there and moved here, so
Hmm.
we're fourth generation Japanese. Um,
Okay.
and my mom is Canadian, born and raised in Canada.
Okay. Oh, that's
But
awesome, man.
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. My dad lives in Japan, actually, which is really interesting. I got the opportunity to go visit him a couple of years ago, and it was amazing. There's quite a big Lego scene there too, actually. There's no Lego stores, but you wouldn't believe the amount of secondhand used Lego stores there are. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. That sounds pretty awesome. So, you have any hobbies outside of Lego that you bring into your mocks? Like, maybe some of the things that you like to do that that display in your mocks.
Yeah, actually, well, like I said, the art, I'm really interested in architecture, and I used to do some drawing, and building with different materials and stuff, and so that's probably my number one inspiration is my love of architecture. But I'm also really heavily into sports. I used to play soccer quite a bit. I
Hmm.
don't anymore. Um, but so sports and the outdoors are some of my inspirations as well. Um, my One of my favorites is the my rock climbing mock, which I did a little while ago.
Right.
That one was really fun. I did that after I actually went and visited an old friend, and we went rock climbing. And I hadn't been rock climbing in years and years and years, and I had a lot of fun. And so I came home and I built that mock,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in kind of recognition of that, and it was it was a lot of fun. And you know, I'll always kind of remember that trip because of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I,
Okay.
you know, there's not necessarily one thing or one hobby or interest that I take inspiration out from. You know, I can, you know, even day-to-day things. You know, I'll see something, you know, in a
Mm-hmm.
movie or, you know, on a show or, you know, at work or something, and that'll make me think, hey, you know, I could from that, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
there's
So
inspiration
you,
everywhere, you know.
yeah, yeah, and you got to make you definitely got to make art of it. I see is you know, building with these blocks are like a medium of being an artist. I used to draw myself.
Oh yeah.
I used to paint. Yeah, I used to paint. I used to be an art student, and so this kind of helped me to kind of tap into that. So I totally understand.
Yeah, very
So
cool.
would you say that you know, this is like building is your therapeutic for you?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I kind of get lost when I'm building, you know. I'll put some music on and I'll start building, and I'll look back up at the clock, and you know, 2.5 hours has passed by, you know, and it's already
Yeah.
late. So yeah, it's definitely therapeutic. It's very engaging, you know, so there's not a
Hmm.
whole lot of room to, you know, think about other things, or you know, like it's very focusing, you know. At the same time, it's not frustrating, it's not aggravating, it's not, you know, it's really very relaxing, everything about it. And
Okay.
plus,
Okay.
you know, when you've finished something that you really like and you really enjoy and you're really proud of, this also gives you a really good sense of accomplishment, you know.
Hmm.
Like that's really important too, I think.
Okay. All right. Were you ever in a like a difficult situation?
How do you mean?
Like, were you ever in a jam? Like, you ever I don't know, like, were you like, you know, you had, I don't know, maybe you had a project to do, or even a you know, a school assignment you had to do, and it was too difficult. Did how did it help your love of Lego help you persevere through that?
Oh, okay. Um, I you know, I can't think of any one particular event that really, you know, like Lego got helped get me through, but I would say just that, you know, in general, day to day, it's a reliever of all stress, you know.
Hmm.
Without it, I think um, there's a lot of times where I would be, you know, kind of stressed out and thinking, you know, okay, well, what do I want to do with myself right now? Like, you know, I'm bored, or you know, I mean, I like, you know, I want to be doing something, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's definitely it's definitely helping me through, like just that, you know, day to day. It relieves the stress day to day and everything. So
Hmm.
um, I would say that's probably the number one thing for me.
Okay. Okay. So through all your projects, how many projects, how many mocks do you have?
Uh, I don't know. It's hard to count. I haven't necessarily photographed all of the different things that I have built either. I would say from now, since the point I started on Instagram and YouTube and everything, I would say my mock count is maybe 20 or 30 different mocks.
Hmm.
So it's not too many, but you know, over the course of my life, I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty.
So I don't know, but I'm always looking for, you know, inspiration for new mocks, and I love building them. So chances are I'll have plenty more in you know, the months and years to come.
Okay. I mean, sound like you're on the right track right now with the amount that you have. Is there out of those all those mocks, was it which one was the most difficult for you?
The most difficult, I think I think probably the first modular I ever did, actually, this sandstone one right here, the apartment building, and the reason being was that I was using the program, the LDD, Lego Digital Designer program, and it was the second time I had actually used the program, and so I was still really getting used to it, getting used to the program and getting used to building in modular format. So it was really challenging, and took me what felt like forever to do it, just because I was trying to figure out what the best way to both build in modular format and on this new program, so it was kind of both of these problems were clashing and making it really difficult for me to finish the modular, but since then I've had some practice using the program and everything, and it's much smoother now.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
my mocks aren't the biggest, so the main problems I run into are just design problems, and how I want to design things, and what I want to put where, and how I want to fit everything into the small space of the modular, so
yeah.
I think they're all challenging in their own ways.
Yeah, old dog like me, I live off of trial and error. I can't do
That's
the
part of the fun.
cat stuff. Do you belong to an AFOL group or community?
No, actually, right now I don't belong to any community or group. I'm always looking for new people to communicate with and talk with about Lego, and share ideas with, and everything. I don't have too many friends myself that are interested in Lego, so I find that I have to reach out to other sources to get that feeling of community when I want to share things, share my Lego mocks and my Lego ideas and everything like that.
Okay.
So yeah. I'm hoping to eventually find a group of people, or a group or what have you, that shares the same interest as I do.
Okay, all right. Well, I can point you kind of in the right direction, but you want to check his channel out. It's Hoosier Bricks, who he runs the Saturday night stream for us. And I can't tell you who all belongs in it, but everybody in the chat right now belongs to that group, and a lot more. And he actually runs his own Friday night show, and then he runs the Saturday night show as well.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
so stop in, check it out. Yeah, stop and check it out. Hoosier may invite you on one of his streams to get to know you. I mean, that's how I started. He invited me on one of his streams through MD. MD dropped my name out, and next thing you know, I'm in one of the streams and talking with these people, man. And then, we're trading ideas and stuff. And you learn a lot from those guys. Like I'm one of the members of the DMV crew, and that's Cool Kid Bricks. That's MD. That's Brick or Treats, and No More. And we just all happen to live in the same area. And those guys, I learned a lot from those guys. Those guys been in the game longer than I have. So I'm like the little brother. I'm always asking questions on stuff. And so, and then you also want to check out the Australia, the AP, it's called the AP Lego stream as well. And you could probably, if you look in the chat, it's Aussie Brick Chick, and she's probably the go-to for that stream as well. So we're here, bro. I mean, you don't have to look no further. You don't have to look no further at all. We're here. So and Miss ABC, she's a great helper as well. Any of the guys from the DMV crew, they'll help you as well. And Hoosier's a great deal of help. All right. So you definitely want to go for Hoosier and go for ABC, Mrs. Aussie Brick Chick. So awesome. yeah, definitely. I mean, we're here, man. So definitely reach out. So out of all your bills, which one you prize the most?
It's a good question. I like a lot of them. I think at the moment, my favorite is my most recent modular building. It's the cafe bookstore, which you might be able to see just right here. It's
Hmm.
blue and
Hmm.
orange, but lots of pictures on my Instagram, also a video on my YouTube channel, so you should check that out.
Hmm.
But I think, yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. I was trying to experiment with building with more colors in my build um, to really make things stand
Okay.
out. Um, and quite pleased with, with how everything turned out in the end. And one of my favorite parts was I didn't have to make a huge bricklink order, and it didn't cost me a whole bunch of money. So that was nice. I
Right.
was able
Yeah,
to
that's a
build it with
plus.
with all parts I had, and a relatively small collection at this point. That was nice.
Okay. Okay. Um. So, in your Lego career, from beginning to end, whether you were a child or an adult, what was your most memorable interaction? What's your most favorite memory regarding your Lego hobby?
I think it must have been when my family and I went to Legoland, California.
Hmm.
I think that was an amazing experience. I was able to see Lego creations like I've never seen before. I mean, I've been to a couple of Lego expos, and events here and there, but
Hmm.
to the amount of Lego that was at Legoland, it was just unbelievable. And
Right.
I'll always remember that because I was just, I was still pretty young when I went actually,
Hmm.
and so I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I just remember being absolutely perplexed the whole time I was there, walking around just eyes wide, just not believing my eyes as to how much Lego and the detail and everything, And I think even from that really inspired me to start doing my own things and really get into the hobby, even as a kid, just because it was amazing to see the sheer size and even the amount of adults and everything walking around. Like even at that point I knew it wasn't just a kid's toy.
Right.
So I think,
Right.
yeah, like I don't know, I would love to go again and maybe even visit other Legolands and whatnot, because yeah, it's great. But I always just I love seeing other people's creations and being able to take inspiration from that. So any chance I get to look at Lego is great.
Yeah, man. You can't knock it, man. You can't never get tired of Lego, man.
No,
You can't.
no, it's a lifelong hobby for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a look at some of your work through a PowerPoint slide, and I'll ask you some questions about your bills and everything we get to know about Bricks to Go.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, let me see here. All right, here we go. All right, folks, if you're just tuning in, my guest tonight is Bricks to Go. He's from Ontario, Canada, 21 years old, at A-Fall, looking for an A-Fall home. ABC, Hoosier. Reach out to this guy. Bring this guy into the community. All right, here we go. All right. So you had this modular on the left here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was my first modular building. The one that I was just saying was the most difficult for me. That was what got me into building the modular buildings in the first place.
Hmm.
Uh, I designed that one again, like I said, on the Lego Digital Designer, and ordered the pieces from there off of Bricklink. And I had an absolute blast, even though it was frustrating at times, designing it and everything. I had a lot of fun both building it, designing it, ordering all the pieces and everything. From there, it really, catapulted me in a direction, of build, and I've been doing that ever since. And that was only a couple of months ago, but I have some pretty big ambitions, and they all kind of started from that modular right there.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. So this is the interior of that building.
That picture actually is the interior of another building that I have yet to do a video of. It's interesting actually because that one, you can see it right here. It's this kind of grayish brown building here, which is not a modular at all. And I built that one previous to this one actually, and I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to do a video on it or not. I may or may not. I may just tear it down.
Okay.
Excuse me. But I'm not sure how much I liked it, so that's why I'm still kind of on the fence of doing that. So that's where that picture comes from anyway, in the kitchen area.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Tell us about these builds right here.
Oh, those are some old sets that I got when I was a kid. On the left, there's the Boba Fett, I think. I always get them mixed up. It's terrible as a Star Wars fan, I know. But I had to take a picture of both of them because they are both such, old classics, and I pulled them off the shelf downstairs one day and dusted them off, and I made sure all the pieces were there, and took a couple of pictures of them because I'll probably disassemble them and store them away somewhere and keep them in good condition because they're somewhat of a collector's item for me, for sure.
Okay. Okay. FYI, that's the Star Wars guys are letting you know it's Jango Fett. It's Jango.
Jango Fett. There we go.
Yeah,
At least someone knows. Thanks
right.
for correcting me there. But yeah, then on the right we have the R2 units marching in a line there. I got that the one in the middle there recently from that giveaway that they were doing not too long ago. They were giving that away with Star Wars purchases. And then I had decided again just to pull the other two off the shelf and take some pictures for just for keepsake.
Okay.
But again, they're just I'm a really big Star Wars fan, and so I just love all the Star Wars Lego related Lego stuff.
Okay. They're out there, man. I haven't dived into it yet, but I'm on the cusp. All right. So you just so happen to be a Steelers fan, huh? How did that happen?
That's funny because I actually don't watch football at all. I got that hat as a gift from a friend I made. She was an exchange student at the school that I went to, and we started talking, and she ended up buying that for me just before she left as a kind of a thank you for showing her around the town and everything. So she didn't really know because she was from Korea, so she didn't exactly know what they were. She just thought the hat looked interesting.
Okay, all right, not bad.
I've had to explain that story to so many people because they say the exact same thing. Oh, you're a Steelers fan, but no, I've actually watched a game.
Hey, I tell you this from experience from my area where I'm at is in Baltimore. You can't walk down the street with that hat; they kill you.
Well, I'm glad I didn't take it there then.
Yeah, they kill you. They hate those guys.
That's funny.
So, tell us about this module build that you customize yourself here.
All right, well, that's my second modular building. It's a house, and I had a lot of fun building the kind of the balcony there. It gives it a lot of depth, and I don't know. I really like. It's too bad you don't have pictures of the inside too, because with this one I really tried to work on my interiors. I like because I think in the previous one, the tan apartment building there, I think the apartment buildings themselves or the apartment units themselves, sorry, were actually really boring. There was a bed and a sink and a fridge, and that was about it. So I didn't have anything in it. And so this one I tried to put a bit more effort into it, gave myself a bit of space and give myself, the whole house instead of, trying to separate it into apartments and stuff like that. And tried to
Yeah.
fit in a lot more, got in a bed, wardrobe, side table, kitchen tables, chairs, lamps, bookshelf, kitchen, everything like that. So I tried to, yeah, like I said, do a full interior as I didn't really in the last one. And I had a lot of fun with it. I think I came up with some good ideas for inside. Again, you can check out more pictures on my Instagram and the video on my YouTube if you actually want to take a look at
Okay.
the interior there.
Absolutely. Make sure you check that out. Check that out. He's on YouTube and Instagram. It's BricksToGo. All right. So I got another pick here for the inside a little bit. So you definitely made it modular where
Yeah.
you and that's awesome. That is and maybe I'm over exaggerating the fact, but I think that being a young builder yourself and you're thinking ahead to this point, I think it's well, you're well advanced.
Thanks.
So take us. I know what you said, but what inspires someone as young as you to make a build like this?
I think it's probably my attention to detail, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I really I don't know. If you notice in most of my builds, modular builds, I try to build completely studless. So I always put tiles or smooth plates or some kind of smooth piece to finish off the top of the build or whatever. Even if you see in that kind of modular picture there we have of the 3 separate pieces of that building, it's kind of hard to see because the pieces are white, but all the borders are completely smooth and plated off. There's no open studs or anything like that, because I find that looks kind of messy. I'm not necessarily messy, maybe unfinished is a better word for it. A good example for that is the official Lego modular sets. And I notice how they stick together is they have several open studs left on the top level of the building, and that way the next piece just kind of sticks to it. But I much prefer, completely covering everything and making it smooth. It looks a lot more finished, and it looks a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. It looks more like a model as opposed to kind of a play set, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay.
So I always, finish off all of my flooring and everything with tiles and, give everything a really nice finished look. And again, I think that just has to do with my attention to detail. I've always had that when creating things and building things. Like my drawings, when I used to do drawings, are always very intricate and precise. With measurements and rulers and stuff like that. It's just because that's just the way that I work, and I think that's kind of it reflects that in my work with my Lego mocks. It's very kind of precise and finished looking. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So here we got both of those side by side, and so like again, you were thinking ahead, like you're gonna build a city, which is pretty awesome. What type of city theme are you going with?
Well, I'm going with kind of a modern, an oldish modern. I don't know how to say this. Take on things. Like I really like how the stone pieces look. Like if I'm using gray plates, light bluish gray or dark bluish gray plates around the edges there. You see it in both buildings there. It gives it, kind of almost a stone look or a brick look or something like that, right? But then at the same time, you kind of have the modern contrasting colors and and you know, the black trim and everything like that. So I'm kind of trying to, you know, keep similar styles in most of my builds, and keep it kind of
Mhm.
and modern and, you know, contemporary, and um, I don't know. I like gaining my inspiration for the styles of my buildings, from buildings that I see or I have seen, because it kind of makes it a little bit easier, you know.
Mhm.
And then I kind of work in, um, you know, using some of the same styled pieces and the similar colors, from building to building, so that they all kind of look a little bit similar, you know, like they actually belong
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
as opposed to, you know, having a really modern looking house, and then, you know, a really old looking restaurant next to it, and then, you know, a new gas station, and then, you know, try to keep everything a little bit similar in that respect.
Right.
But
Oh yeah.
I think for me to really know, I'll have to kind of keep building, and at least get, you know, one street done and see how it looks, and then kind of go from there as to what kind of uh, you know, the layout and the style of the whole city itself.
Okay. So here you have a, I think this is your third module right here. This is the start of it. So take us through this build. What do you,
That's
how are you building this up?
that I actually, like I said, this is the one that I wanted to build just from pieces that I had. So I was building off of kind of a limited selection of pieces. I didn't have. I went from building those other two modulars from the designer, the program, which, you know, gave me unlimited amount of whatever pieces I wanted, to
Hmm.
building this from pieces that I had just in my bins. Um, had to build off of the pieces that I had, and not just whatever came to mind. So it
Okay.
made things a little bit more difficult. That's for sure. But I had a lot of fun actually, you know, designing some of the things, and coming overcoming some of the problems that I ran into when I, you know, ran out of a certain piece, and
Hmm.
you know, had to go back and kind of redesign it to, you know, give me the right amount of pieces, and so I had a lot of fun with that for sure.
Okay.
Um, the
I can see by the detail that you're saying that you're all about detail, because I'm looking right down into this top floor, and I see the detail. Take us through the detailing.
well, I started the design with an idea of building some kind of restaurant, or um, some kind of, you know, cafe or whatever. And I wasn't really sure, but the colors kind of gave me the feeling that it should be a cafe. It looks kind of,
Hmm.
you know, a modern cafe or something, that really just struck me. So I kind of went from there. The original design of the building itself, I actually, um, there's my girlfriend is really into the show Friends, and there's the coffee shop there, Central
Hmm.
Perk, and it looks a lot like the way that this modular is designed there, with the slanted doorway. And I actually kind of took inspiration from that Central Perk Cafe,
Okay.
with the way that this is angled. But at that point, I wasn't sure whether or not it was going to be a cafe, but I finally came to the decision that it would be. Um, and I'm happy it did. It works out. The space inside of the building worked pretty perfectly for it to be a cafe, with the counter
Mhm.
there, and the, you know, the table space and the patio out back. It all worked out pretty nicely. And I had a lot
Okay.
of fun. I had a lot of fun designing, you know, like the coffee makers inside, and you know, the cabinets and the little sink and everything. The little details are sometimes the most fun to do.
Okay. All right. So now you're up on the second floor. Can't quite see it from here, but I mean, tell us what detail you have inside.
Ups in the second floor there, I have a bookstore. So it contains two bookshelves, as well as a reading chair, a table, and then a cash register for a librarian or um, cashier or something, stand and serve people. So it's not, again, it's a pretty small second floor, so I didn't have too much room to work with. I did what I could with the space. Um, and I mean, I'm happy with the way it turned out. But I think actually I might keep my businesses to 2 floors, because kind of splitting the floors between 2 businesses makes it a little bit tricky, kind of fitting everything into the 1 floor. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I really would have been nice if I had room to add in several more bookshelves and a couch and a seating area or a fireplace or something like that. Those would, like, I had so many ideas for this bookstore, and I could only fit in so much. So I think if from now on I'll probably just keep each building, as one business or one apartment or one house or whatever, just so that I have the room to fit all of my ideas inside.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I tell you who else is I know a couple friends of mine are like a truly like detail by detail person. Um
Yeah.
and that's no more and MDs like that too. They all about the small details. They don't leave anything out. So here you got the roof over top of the. I mean, this is almost like you're getting close to your finished product here. I like how you did the coffee cup. You got the on the pillar there on the outside, right there on the corner. And like and that's some of the details that I'm talking about there, like those little tiny things that pop out. Because I haven't seen anything like such yet. And, I'm sure there's something, but I haven't seen anything like such yet. So take us through this phase of your build.
Well, this year, I was building the roof part, and I was still, if you can see, it's not, the second floor isn't even finished. I was still just waiting for Bricklink order actually to finish that up. But in the meantime, I decided I'd start on the roof and came up with a design that I liked, but there was something wrong with it, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was. Um, the whole kind of second floor, just it looked off to me, and I wasn't sure why. So I left it for a few days because, well, one, I was waiting for the Bricklink order, and two, I wasn't quite sure what to do with the roof. So I left it. Built a couple of other mocks in the meantime, and whatever. And then I came back to it, and I figured out what was wrong with it. Made some changes and everything, and um, the final result is much better. But this is definitely, it was definitely a good start. Like, I liked where I was headed with it. Anyway, I had an idea, but I wasn't quite sure how to finish it off yet.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
where I was in that picture anyway.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely making use of all the pieces, even like the the top, that the detail you got on the top of the roof there with the studs. I think that pops out as well too. That's just that separates you from a lot of people.
Mhm.
And so right here you have the finishing product, right?
Yeah. And so here I finally got that Bricklink order. So I got the two little the white the books in front of the store there, if you can see, hanging off the sign, um, as the bookstore sign, which I was really happy about. I found the pieces online and kind of built the sign off of it, but I didn't have them yet, so I had to just use the gray tiles, which you saw in the picture before there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then once I had finished up the roof, how I did in the previous one with the studs on top and everything, and then I had those ball joints sticking out as well in the front, in between the arches, and
Mm-hmm.
that those, along with the studs on top, gave me an idea of how the style should look, and I kind of got the inspiration for what you see in the next picture with um, the gray plates across the top with the little round 1 by 1 light gray
Mm-hmm.
circle plates
Hmm.
as
Right.
well. Um, and then I condensed the studs on the top, and like I said before, I smoothed off the top, you know, added in some smooth curved pieces so that it kind of looked a little bit more finished. Um, and then I added in the um, those those round gray plates there to kind of you know, accent the studs on top and kind of give it a similar style. So it just kind of wasn't, you know, just random circle studs on the top and that was it. You know, I have to kind of
Yeah.
try to keep the style, you know, within the whole building there.
Right. Yeah.
And then I also went back and changed the color behind the lattice looking pieces there to blue to kind of make
Right.
it pop a little bit more, and that kind of helped
Mm-hmm.
it. That kind of helped the mid level there stand out a little bit more and wasn't just kind of so dull.
Yeah.
So
Oh
you know,
yeah.
there's
Yeah. You
lots of
definitely
little
aced that
things
one.
here and there.
Yeah, you definitely aced that one.
Thanks.
So you're into miniature builds, and Aussie Brick Chick is into the miniature builds too,
Oh
and
yeah.
she's the master of miniature builds. So you definitely want to check her out as well. But yeah, she should appreciate this here. Some of your miniature builds you have here. So tell us about these two here. Are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us about these two builds you have here.
The one on the left there, the little haunted house one. Um, I got the little minifigure there in one of the packs, or actually my girlfriend did, and I had kind of an idea of, you know, a cool. Actually, it was a modular house that I wanted to do with him, kind of a haunted
Mhm.
style modular building. um, which I may still do, but I haven't yet. Anyway, this was kind of a miniature version of, you know, the style that I had in mind. Um, and I had some time one day and I was kind of bored, so I just built that, and um, I had a lot of fun with it actually. It was a really, as you can see, it's a really simple build. There's not a whole lot of pieces going on, but I appreciate how in mini mocks each piece really gives it a lot of detail. You know, like you have to be really kind of um, particular with the pieces that you choose for mini mocks, because each piece
Mhm.
um, really makes it stand out because there aren't that many pieces, right? So you really have to kind
Right.
of pick and choose, and
Yeah,
but it's
absolutely.
fun, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
The that one there, the rock climbing one, which I had mentioned earlier, actually, was probably one of my favorite mini mocks to do. Um, I did it after, like I said, after I went rock climbing with an old friend of mine. Had a blast, and so it's kind of based off of you know, one of my own personal experiences, which not a whole lot of the other mocks are. So it kind of
Hmm.
I can kind of relate
Hmm.
to that one for sure.
Right. All right. So let's talk about these two here.
The Scarif Stormtrooper one there, I built because I got that that giveaway at the Lego store, and it came with, you know, comes with a little stand and everything that you can attach it to other figures like it. Um, but I didn't think that that stand really did the figure justice, because it's such a cool minifigure and so detailed and well designed and everything, and I just thought I should build my own little stand just to display it because I liked it so much.
Hmm.
It's a cool minifigure.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
And then the Treasure Island one there, I went through. I was going through some of my older Lego, and I came across some old figure stuff, some minifigure stuff, and you know, some old animals and things like that, like the parrot there, and actually that tree as well, that old palm tree with the old style
Hmm.
leaves and everything. It's kind of a classic. As well as you know, the skeleton minifigure and everything, and I was just, you know, thinking that I wanted to use these pieces again, you know, and use these pieces from my childhood. So I kind of came up with this desert island desert
Yeah.
island idea that I would, toss all these pieces into and see what it looked like.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, can you explain this one here?
Yeah, that one is kind of just a quick little Asian styled farm that I threw together. Um,
Hmm.
my dad, as I said, lives in Japan, and he's sent me lots of pictures of his travels and different things that he's seen and done, and some of the things that he's showed me were like the rice farms and different Japanese agricultural practices, and they're just also interesting. And this mock really doesn't kind of do them justice. This kind of looks like traditional farming, but it was still just fun to put together, and I hadn't done anything that micro before, so it was kind of
Hmm.
interesting just to give it a try.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Looks good. Looks real good. All
Thanks.
right. So, you have here some of your family members. Tell us about this picture here.
Yeah, so
And who's in?
that's my younger brother there on the left, Toshia.
Hmm.
He was big into Lego when we were kids, but isn't quite so much anymore. Um, he's he's a great brother to have.
Hmm.
He's quite interested in all the things that I'm doing, and is quite supportive of my Lego interests. So that's good. I can talk to him about my Lego and show him stuff, and he gives me some advice too. And then
Okay.
my dad on the right there,
Hmm.
he is the one that really kind of got me into Lego. We did when I was a kid, we did a couple of big mocks. Like did a couple of big crane mocks. Did started doing an Eiffel Tower mock. We started building the Death Star. Um, lots of big projects with him. So I've always kind of uh, gained inspiration from him, because he's always showed me kind of how everything works, really. Like he's showed me a lot of different techniques and everything like that.
Okay.
Also been very supportive in um, buying me a lot of Lego over the years.
All right. See that? See that? Fathers. Here's the message to
Support
fathers. It's very, very good to support your kids, fathers. Very good to support your kids. They grow up to be young men or young ladies, very productive citizens. So fathers, having fathers around is a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely have him to thank for a lot of my Lego aspirations.
Okay, okay. Where were you at in this picture here?
That's me in Japan, actually, when I went and visited my dad a couple of years ago. I
Okay,
can't remember exactly right now what castle that is, but it's a pretty famous castle that we went and
hmm,
visited in Japan.
okay, okay. And so yeah, family. You seem to be a very good family guy.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. I'm big into family. Family's important.
that's very cool. Very cool. All right, so tell us about these two here.
The one on the left there is just a model for the Coca-Cola, obviously, as you can see. My girlfriend's mom actually has a quite large collection of Coca-Cola merchandise, bottles and everything you can think of, from plates to ceiling fans to everything. And so
Right.
I thought to myself that I could add to her collection and design her a little mini Lego vending machine, Lego Coca-Cola vending machine,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's actually going to be a gift for her, which she doesn't know yet, but
Ah, okay. Okay. Cool.
soon. But yeah, so that's where that came from, is her passion for Coca-Cola.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome, Bill. So you got the Star Wars rockers on the right, man. I think a lot of people in the chat gonna like that because they love. You got a lot of Star Wars fans in this chat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Star Wars is huge. I know the Star Wars is one of the biggest Lego themes for sure. So there's got to be a lot of them. But yeah, I had a lot of fun building that one actually.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered some pieces, including the guitar and the mic and everything, and so I had those just lying around, and I didn't know what to do with them, and it was bugging
Mm-hmm.
me. So I decided to build a drum set and everything, and then I thought, why don't I just throw some stormtroopers in there and have Darth Vader singing because that's kind of funny. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So tell us about this mini build you got here.
that one, oh man, that was a lot of fun to build. Um, I had this idea because I had built a little mock for an elf figure that my girlfriend got because she wanted me to build her a little mock for that figure.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me. So I ended up building a little tree and kind of a garden scene with her in it, and that was really the first tree that I had really put a lot of effort into kind of designing. And so I decided to do it again in kind of a bigger scale. It's still not huge, but it's bigger. Um, and then I had this kind of cool kind of fantasy idea where I'd build this forgotten temple around the tree, and have this kind
Mm-hmm.
of path that was kind of covered in bush and shrubs and everything leading up towards it. So um, I'm not really sure where that idea came from, to be honest with you, but I was just building and thinking of what I could build to go along with it, and that idea just kind of came into my head, and I rolled with it, and um, it worked out really well, actually.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. So tell us about this next build that you got here.
That one there, I was experimenting with building different lamps actually for one
Mm-hmm.
of my new modulars. I wanted to put a couple of lamps outside on the patio.
Okay.
And so I was, playing around with different ways to do that. And while I was doing that, I kind of hit a little snag in my building process and wasn't really sure how to continue with the build, with my modular build.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to take off one of the lamps that I had built, which is the lamp that you see there, because I really liked it. And then I just put it on a street corner, and I kind of built from there. So I built, the sidewalk, and then I started building the little house or the shop in the background there, and everything kind of, I don't know, came from there, I guess. And I went and found a little minifigure and um, kind of had the idea that he'd drop his ice cream cone because I don't know. I think the building in the back kind of looks like maybe an ice cream shop or a candy shop or
Okay.
something like along those lines. That's what I
Right.
was thinking
Right.
anyway with the green um, window there, the awning.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, it all just kind of came together. And see, when I'm building my mocks, like I don't generally have a full idea of what it's going to look like or what I'm really building. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
start with a small idea, or I start with one element of an idea, and then I kind of build from there, and things just kind of um, up and kind of happen. I think I'm not
Oh
really
yeah.
sure sometimes where all the inspiration comes from, but
Okay. All right. So that's your a city block right there with all three of your mocks there.
yeah, it's the beginning of the city. It's only a few modulars, but I think they all look really good together. I'm really happy with
Yeah.
the way that they all turned out, and I'm really excited to build a lot more and put them all together.
Okay. You're gonna do a full city layout, like a full table.
Yeah, at least a table. I think because I'm doing all custom builds and I want to do everything custom, it's going to end up being a much smaller city than what a lot of people are doing. I probably won't add um train tracks and stuff like that because I probably just won't have the space for it at this point. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah, no, I'm really excited to get that started and get the city going and get roads in and everything.
Okay. So what are you building here? What's your next build here?
This one here is a restaurant modular. I started building Actually, you can kind of see it in the background of this picture here. But I had all of these 2x2 sloped, curved sloped pieces in sand green that my dad actually got for me in Japan at a bulk used Lego store. He had all these sand green pieces that you know he brought to me, or he sent to me. And so I was one day I was just kind of sitting there, and I had hundreds of these sloped curved pieces, and I don't know what to do with them, because they're kind of an odd piece and they're kind of in an odd color. So I was like, okay, well, maybe maybe they kind of look like shingles, so maybe I can make a roof. So I started playing around with some different techniques and some different styles, and I came up with that, and I have a picture of it on my Instagram actually.
Okay. Yeah, definitely check it out. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I was happy with the way it turned out, with the way it looked, and I didn't want to take it apart, so I decided I'd build a modular for it to fit on. So this one I'm actually kind of working almost from the top down in a sense, because I started with now kind of making the rest of the building fit to the roof.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I see the roof in the back there.
Yeah.
So what's this next build that you have here?
This one here I actually just built today while I had some spare time, and it was just an idea that came to me, a green screen for some of the minifigures that I have. I can use it to take pictures of different minifigures and stuff, and kind of make it look cinematic almost. I don't know. It's just a fun, simple build.
Right.
Sometimes the simple builds are the most fun and most pleasing.
Yeah. Well done. Hey, folks, if you're just catching the show, you're on the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks, and my guest is BricksToGo. We're totally at the end of the show, so if you missed it, definitely go back. He has some very exciting custom builds, young guy on his way up. And so next Monday on the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks at 9 p.m., we will interview Lego Snoop. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. He's been away overseas. He serves in the military, but now he's back home, and we will put him on the Icebox on Monday. The following Monday is the one and only No More Bricks. He will step in, and he will be on the Icebox. I hope the DMV crew roast him in the chat. So he is an innovative builder, big time star, as everybody in the DMV except for myself. I'm a learner. But he is definitely, if you catch any show, definitely catch this show with No More, because he has some of the phenomenal builds. Especially, I'm trying to look at that Harambe Beach. Very awesome. Very, very awesome. All right. So now we're back. We're back normal again here. So being a young builder, I'm gonna ask you one more question, then I'll let you go. Being a young builder such as yourself, how do you view the AFOL community just coming in? How do you view, because we're out here, they're looking at the interview now, and so what would you tell them, because you are the young builder, and you are the future, so what would you tell them, whether if you're learning something from them, if you're not learning enough from them, tell them your point of view.
I think as a young Lego builder, it's really both inspiring and motivating to see a lot of people's builds, and the enthusiasm that really circles the whole Lego community, from all ages, and all races and religion and everything. Just everybody can find a common interest with Lego, and I think I think that's probably the greatest thing that I see personally coming into the AFOL community is that everybody is just so positive all the time. You know, there's no negativity anywhere, and I think that's something that's quite amazing within the Lego community. And I think that's one of the reasons that I am so interested in becoming part of it, is because of how positive and kind of uplifting it really is. Just
Okay.
the feedback, and you know, the comments, and
Mm-hmm.
just conversations with Lego fans is just always positive, and it's always great. You know, I haven't had a negative interaction with the Lego community before.
Okay. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Could you type something into the chat so they know because when you do that, it provides a direct link to your YouTube channel, and so they can see who you are. Just say hello to the group.
Yes. How do I do that?
If you're looking at the live stream, you should see. I guess it would be the live chat. If you're looking at not the screen we're on, but the YouTube the live stream. If you type something in there, it actually gives a link to your YouTube page. That way the guys can, you know, guys and girls can direct, you know, contact you directly. Because they're asking about you. They're definitely asking about you. They want you in the community. Like I said, if you just reach out to Hoosier or Aussie Brick Chick, and those are the, you know, one of the, you know, some of the leaders of their community. Guys, he's just posted in the chat. So if you go ahead and follow BricksToGo, and you can see some of his builds on your own, or even his YouTube channel, so you can see the things that he do. Very young builder, very innovative, you know, hopeful engineer. So definitely check him out. He's one of us, and we want to support him because, ladies and gentlemen, whether we like it or not, we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is our future right here. So, you know, we need to bring him in, and, you know, give him the knowledge that was bestowed onto us, so that, you know, our dreams and Lego can move forward and go forward. So, any last words?
I would say just thanks for watching, and I'm really excited to, you know, be a part of everybody's you know, Lego experience, and be a part of this great Lego community.
Very great to have you here.
And of course, thanks a lot for having me on the show. This is great. It's been great.
It's been an honor, man. I'm glad you made the time out to stop by the show, and it was great learning about you. Definitely, like I said, you know, I mean what I said. You know, it's the young builders that, you know, that's going to take us to the next plateau. We're just holding the fort down for you until you're ready. All right, folks, that was another edition of On the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. Like I said, next Monday is my guest. It will be Lego Snoop. 9 o'clock on Monday, and then the following Monday will be my good buddy, No More Bricks, will be in the house. Going to be a big and epic show with those 2 Mondays coming up. Don't forget, this Wednesday we have the DMV Brick Bros show, and you know what Hump Day brings. So we act a fool, we go crazy. Yeah, definitely check out this Wednesday, because it's going to be epic. We're brewing some good topics up, so no telling what BOT is going to say. So have a good night. I bid you peace, love, and Lego.